The following podcast is not affiliated with the developers who have created the games being reviewed. The reviews are solely the opinions of the hosts to be used to make an educated decision on what games to download and play.
Rev up the fun with all new delicious treats from Edible, inspired by the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game on the Nintendo Switch system. Power up with Rainbow Road platters and arrangements filled with fresh pineapple stars, colorful Swizzle strawberries, and all new cookie sandwiches, featuring creamy whipped frosting sandwiched between two handcrafted cookies with rainbow sprinkles on top. For a variety of gifts that make everyone feel like a champ, shop edible.com today. Game rated E for everyone. Game and system sold separately.
At Speedway, no thirst goes unquenched, and that includes yours. Right now, any size Speedy Freeze or fountain drink is only 99 cents. Find your nearest Speedway at speedway.com/locations. Speedway. Summer happens here. Excludes maximum Speedy Freeze or fountain drink.
Hey gamers! Are the microtransactions of life getting you down? All this buzz around cryptocurrency, but no idea what to go with. It's time that you check out the GMR Zone, a weekly podcast for all things that are GMR. What is GMR, you're asking? Well, it's the premier cryptocurrency that's made for gamers by gamers. And GMR is no ordinary token.
Do you want to learn more about the unique tokenomics that feature instant rewards for holders? Plus exclusive content from the upcoming GMR Center, which will be taking the gaming world by storm soon. Then you're going to want to listen to the GMR Zone podcast. That's G as in golf, M as in Mike, R as in Romeo, Zone podcast. Be sure to search for it in your favorite podcast app and follow or subscribe.
Hello gamers and welcome to Budget Arcade, the number one free-to-play gaming podcast in the world. I am Scott.
My name's Jeff.
Hey, I'm Mark.
And welcome to episode number 91. Just to recap, we play a free-to-play game every other week and then we rate and review it. Mark, what was this week's game?
Oh, this week we played Raid.
Diarrhea?
Diarrhea Castle, a.k.a. Raid Shadow Legends.
Fortuitously enough.
Developed by
implies.
Plarium Games.
Yep.
Other games who you may know developed also by Plarium Games. Vikings, War of Clans. Nords, Heroes of the North. Mech Arena, Robot Showdown. And Klondike, The Lost Expedition. Oh, and Terminator Genesis Future War.
Oh, nothing like a good movie tie-in mobile game. Like, you know, the legends around games based on movies always being bad. Just squeeze that onto a mobile phone and just have a great time.
Raid Shadow Legends is an epic fantasy collection RPG. It was released on July 29th, 2018 for the Android, iOS, and PC and Mac.
So it's 20, so it's like 3 years old then, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Gameplay.
So the game is a turn-based RPG. So if you've played Final Fantasy, as far as the combat goes, you'll know what to expect. You have a crew of 3 characters?
You can have a total of 4, yeah.
A total of 4. And you select your moves from your skill set. There's a basic attack. There are characters that have healing abilities, characters that do AoE damage, characters that poison. There's a lot of characters in here because this is a gacha game. And a gacha game is a game where you kind of randomly draw your characters to be part of your party. If you remember us playing, what was that? About Beyond Eden or whatever it was called. It was kind of that idea. Now, Beyond Eden, if I'm saying, is that the right name?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, great. That was actually felt like a JRPG. You went around and picked up quests, and despite it being a gacha game for mobile and PC, like this game is for mobile and PC, it felt like an RPG at the very least. This is not that. This is just the battles. And you can do the battles in different ways. There's like a campaign, which I don't think you can actually finish. There is, I believe, like a tower. Then you face off in guilds. And so the whole time, your main point is to collect characters, level them up. They have gear, items that you find through leveling up and going through dungeons that you'll equip to your characters.
As
and
well
each
as
of those
logging
pieces,
in.
yeah, your usual mobile logging in. And all of those pieces of armor can also be leveled up and scaled up. So there's a lot going on here as far as what to do when you turn the game on.
A lot. So much. But that's typical in these types of games.
Right. So you get... Now, I played a game that was similar to this for about 3 to 4 weeks. It was called Mobile Legends Adventure. And it was a similar gacha style game, but it had an idle mechanic where you were accruing XP and gold while you weren't playing the game. So it kind of grinded for you. I didn't notice that in this game.
No, not at all.
So...
No, in fact, so much so that if you're not going to be grinding it out, they want you to pay to level your characters. But of course, we'll get into that in the paywall.
Yeah. And I'm not familiar with all the different sections, but I believe these games, even though this isn't an idle game, but these sort of mobile
I couldn't even
RPGs
unlock all the sections, to be honest with you. I played for, a week and a half and still have stuff that's not unlocked because my personal level wasn't high enough to be able to access those areas.
Yeah, and like other games, that's the case too. It's not just this one because you have to get to certain levels to access. Like there's a tower that you can climb. And now I'm not 100% that that's in this game, to be honest, because I don't think I got far enough to unlock it. But if it's like all the other idle RPGs, there's a tower you climb, which is basically endless levels. And you make micro improvements every time you play the game, and then you make micro progression. And if you want to make more than that, you have to pay money. Now, Mark, initially,
Yes.
you said you kind of digged this game. What are your thoughts?
No, I still dig this game, and y'all came into this game already hating it, and I had no idea this game existed. I'm not into the mobile sphere of gaming as embedded as you all are, and so this game tickled all of my fancies. Now. It is obnoxious. It does hit you over the head with pop-ups as far as like, hey, pay this amount for this stuff, and we'll get all into that all in the paywall. But as far as like graphics and actual gameplay and characters and just the ability to level, it hits all of those marks for I don't even want to call myself a novice, but I'm a novice. A novice, this particular game style person. It hits all of the box. It checks all the boxes, and so me playing this, and I leveled up to like level 16 or 17 or whatever it is, and I'm going through the campaign, and I'm grinding, and that's what it is, it is a grind through these different these levels. And I'm intrigued is because it's not easy. You have to, there is a level of
strategy,
I don't even know what you would call it, but
strategy?
Yeah, I mean, there is some strategy to it.
Yeah, the game has, like a lot of these games, an autoplay function. Essentially, you can tap the ×2 button so that the battle speed is twice as fast for the animations, and then you can tap the auto button so that the game will select your moves for you. So if you're playing this in a very idle or passive way, that option is there. Now, I think what maybe you're trying to say is you hit a point where you can't idle through some things.
Yeah, there is a level of, hey, you have to select the right champions, is because that's what they're called. You get a collection of characters, and you have to select these champions based on the opposition. And in the campaign mode, there is different style and different characters that are weaker or stronger against other characters, and there is some of that strategy involved. And so I found myself engaged enough to where I'm like, hold on, let me try to level up these characters and make the armor and weapons that I have for these particular characters stronger, because I'm trying to make it through this portion of the campaign. And so, me as opposed to you guys, I'm thinking, hey, this game delivers on all aspects, even though it does, there's a lot going on in it, and there is a lot of, kind of gotcha type offerings. I'm still engaged, and I'm like, well, I don't have to spend money. It's because I can grind to this amount, or I can do these things to grind these characters, and there is no shortage of opportunity to grind these characters. And so I found the gameplay to be suiting to for me, is because I'm not, I don't play these games.
And so what Mark is referring to is there is a elemental wheel that each character is either a red character, a blue character, or a green character. I believe the green is stronger than the blue is stronger than the red, and the red is stronger than the green. And it goes in that circular wheel of what's better. It's your rock, paper, scissors. It's your rock,
paper, scissors.
But each character has one of those affiliations, and then there's factions within each character group. And I think there was just by first glance, I think there's 20 different factions that has characters in it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But each of those factions, they have different tiers of characters. And even though there's higher tiers of characters, you can level your lower tiered characters to be one of those higher tier characters. But it takes a lot to do that.
Yeah. But that's it. I mean, I don't know, that's your rinse and repeat of your grind. You pick a campaign level or one of the other modes that opens up for you. You join a guild or whatever, and then you take your team in, and you just keep grinding. And
I mean, there was a story. There was a story to
I think I got to.
I don't think there's an end in sight, though, right? I don't know that it's something that, and I'm judging this again off of other games in this genre, so I could be wrong as well. But I've played games like this. In the campaign, while it does end, there is a leaderboard that shows you that no one has ever completed it. And I'm talking specifically about AFK Arena and Mobile Legends Adventure.
Well,
and I think that's similar here.
Campaign,
I could be
you've
wrong.
Only beaten it on you've done a 2-star through the first playthrough, whereas you can get up to a 4-star, if I'm not mistaken, in what it was. But the better time you have on each level improves whatever ranking you get for that level, and then you can go back and replay them. But so as you're playing, of course, you use energy on each level. I don't know about you guys, but all the way into this, I had more energy than my things that I should have. You know, I had like 250 energy when your max is 30. When you can get, you know, if you go below 30, it'll start replenishing as it times out and everything. But yeah, I just kept earning energy off of everything I did. So it's like I had a huge surplus of energy in the beginning.
And I think that's by design. I think that they want you to play a bunch to get addicted. And then at some point, that's going to taper off. If you
it's definitely going to taper off because they give you the ability to add more energy by paying for it.
Right. And I hate games that have an energy system. I was playing the NBA Live mobile game, which is a fun mobile basketball game. It plays really well, but you have to use energy to play a quarter of gameplay. And then it's like the fact that I can get to a point where I can't play the game. I hate that. No matter what game does it. It's so stupid. And I wish that it wouldn't be in games, because if you've monetized correctly and in a gacha style game, I don't know that there's a great way to necessarily monetize, but and again, I mentioned I've played these other idle games. None of them do that. You can play as long as you like. Now, granted, you might hit a progress wall, but it's not because you ran out of lightning bolts. I hate that about this game or any game we've played on this show.
And this game, it just has too many things to upgrade. You've got your armors, your weapons, your characters, their abilities. Once they get to their max level of experience, you can level them up to another star ranking, because there's like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star, and then once you get it to 5 star, you can upgrade it to like the 5 purple stars, and it's just on and on and on and on. There's the rabbit hole on this type of game is so deep and ridiculous that it's just a turnoff to me.
Well, so that's an interesting piece of commentaries, because how would this game have suited you then? You're talking about the depths of the game. How would it have been better?
I mean, the only way to progress in this is to pretty much spend money so you can get the higher tier characters or enough pulls to be able to level up your standard characters that you have. I mean, it just amounts to having to pay.
But if you didn't want to spend money, you don't have to. That's
an unruly grind. It's going to be an unruly grind, though, because at a certain point, you're not going to earn very many crystals, which is they've got these crystals. There's different tiers of crystals that you use to get your gacha pulls in the first place. You can earn some, and it's usually the lowest tier that you earn. And I think the highest character you can get off of that tier is like a 2 star.
So, and to answer Mark's question, this is where I have a problem, is that there's no end in sight. There's no end game. You're just grinding to grind. And I would refer to this game, AFK Arena, Mobile Legends Adventure, as dopamine simulators. Basically, you got that little fix of making a tiny bit of progress that keeps you coming back in. And it's an unlimited source of that little bit of dopamine release from making that little bit of progress. That's what I don't like about the game, is that it just feels never ending. And I don't want to dedicate the time to get that powerful to be able to beat whatever and then to still have more to go. But it's also never ending in the fact that it can stay on your device for however long, and you can continue to go back to it. You don't have to be dedicated, dedicate all of your time playing this mobile game. Is that you can grind for a little bit, put it down for however long, and then pick it back up. And it's still there, and there's still levels to obtain, I guess. Now, what's the difference between this and, say, Rocket League? I know the Okay.
I know the surface level.
This is going to be a long episode then.
No, the surface level differences between Rocket League and this game, Raid, Shadow Legends, whatever, are different. But what's the level? I mean, what's the difference between how long the game lives and the differences between being able to win matches and then to be able to level
so with
up
Rocket League, it's a matter of skill. If you can get to a high enough skill level, you can continue to play the game and, have fun with it. There is no skill involved in this. This is purely 100% how you are able to level the character and if it'll beat the other characters. Like, the higher your character levels are, the more likely you are to win a level. And that's the problem. There is no skill involved in this. It's just purely 100%. Is your character high enough level to be able to beat this next level? No, there's very tiny amount of strategy. Because again, it's about how high a level your characters are. Because I wasn't using characters that were strong against the element that I was going against, but because my characters were high enough level, they had a good enough set of gear, I was able to continually progress through the levels. When I hit to that point where my characters weren't high enough level, that's when I start losing those levels.
Rev up the fun with all new delicious treats from Edible, inspired by the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game on the Nintendo Switch system. Power up with Rainbow Road platters and arrangements filled with fresh pineapple stars, colorful Swizzle strawberries, and all-new cookie sandwiches, featuring creamy whipped frosting sandwiched between two handcrafted cookies with rainbow sprinkles on top. For a variety of gifts that make everyone feel like a champ, shop edible.com today. Game rated E for everyone. Game and system sold separately.
Want to improve your self-confidence? We recommend Short North Dental for your whitening, tightening, and brightening needs. From cleanings to Botox, treat yourself to a great smile. Check out the newest gallery in the Arts District at shortnorthdental.com because dentistry has never looked this good.
My argument would be to talk about Rocket League or a game like Overwatch or something that is basically endlessly replayable, like your war zones and things like that, is that the reason those are replayable is because of multiplayer. And the fact that, generally speaking, and it's not totally true for all of the games mentioned, you guys always start on the same level, right? If you're playing Rocket League, no matter what someone else's car looks like and their tires and that's all aesthetics. Everybody starts off on the same tier of play. And then it's all about competing to be better, like Scott said. Whereas this isn't that. This is very much just get your character's growth and get that little bit of progress. And that's fine if you like it. But what I don't like about it is it doesn't feel like a game too much because most of it is navigating menus to try to maximize things. And so like you get a certain level of whatever currency and you level up some gear, and then you do a campaign stage, and then you get some rewards. So now you take that, and you go back to the menu, and you level up your gear, your characters, and then you take on the next level, and you rinse and repeat that process over and over and over again, and that's not engaging enough gameplay for me.
You know what?
And the other thing is that
if you want to know the gameplay, go back and listen to our Might and Magic Era of Chaos episode. It's the exact same game.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of games like this. This is like its own genre. Now, it's basic.
Sorry.
What was I saying before Scott interrupted me? I don't remember, but this is kind of its own genre of game where it is just about that dopamine progress, that little bit of progress. And then maybe you spend some money and you make more progress, but I didn't delve into that too much. As far as the microtransactions go, that's my problem with the game is that, plus it being turn-based, this is where I left off, I don't find the combat that engaging. And most of the time I just let the game play itself because it was less tedious than having to select what attack I was going to do over and over and over again.
Well, I think that's another draw to the game is that you don't, the ability to auto-play these matches and not have them draw out because you don't necessarily pick the right attack, I guess. Those things play into a, I'm a big fan of quick matches, well documented on the podcast. But
yes,
I'm a big fan of that. And
check out the new Pokemon MOBA, 10-minute matches.
Right, sign me up. That's the thing, is that these, when you put it on 2x speed and auto, bro, I mean, the gameplay is taken out of your hands, but it's still your crew.
But see, that goes back to what I was saying, Mark, how as long as your champions are high enough level and are strong enough, they're going to win every time, and you don't really have to do anything about it.
But you still have to level up the armor, the weapons. You still have to have the right party. So, I mean, there is this. Listen, I get it, Scott. You don't like this game is because you feel like it's preying on novice gamers to this genre. I get it. But to the fact that the novice gamers eat it up is because it's so accessible. And that's the thing is about this game, is that it is extremely accessible. And that's why I, out of the three of us, enjoyed this game the most, is because it was accessible to me. I'm not somebody in here that is, higher than thou speaking about turn-based mobile games. I'm thinking, hey, this game does XYZ for me, so I'm going to continue to play it. Is because XYZ was painless.
How much do you think this game made in 2020?
It probably made a shit ton of money.
$303.5 million.
Good on them. I don't have a problem. Like, Mark, I can feel you getting upset.
No, I feel like y'all aren't giving this game a fair shake because y'all have played this style of game too many times.
Okay. I have said my reasons, and it had nothing to do with this style of game. I played this style of game before, yes, and I put a lot of time into one. But my problems with this game I mentioned were its tedium and the gameplay loop of just navigating menus and upgrading equipment and then fighting again. I don't find that interesting. Now, you're good with that. That's cool. Great. They made $300 million. Good for them. It's not for me. I don't like the gameplay.
What little gameplay there is.
Essentially, that's what it boils down to. It's like, if it's good for you, great. If it's not, oh well,
And we've played other games where you've said the same thing, where this game's trash, I hate it. What was the last one he said that on?
Probably the last episode, because all these games are trash. But
except for this one, right? But when we say it's trash, you're like,
no,
you're being unfair.
No, because y'all are taking the holier than thou approach of
how are we taking a
games.
holier than thou approach?
Because y'all are treating it the same way. Y'all aren't treating it the same way as every other game that we play on this podcast.
Sound holier than thou?
No, you are treating it holier than thou, and it's more Scott than you. But
okay, I agree then. Can we go to game
honestly,
the paywall then?
It's been a while since Mark didn't agree with us. Curse of Arrows was the last big game that we played that Mark was with us. Well,
I don't even remember
all
that
three
game.
of us
that game
voted
was
trash.
That game was trash.
The only one before that was Super Bomberman.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Mark didn't care. Yeah.
Another trash game.
Yeah, it's a rough one too.
Wild Rift was the last one that Mark was like, no, it's trash.
In my trash designation.
Right, and that game is far from trash. That game is actually polished and well made. But you picked Toon Blast, and all three of us
agreed on that, Mark.
Toon Blast still is on my phone. You want to know what level I'm on Toon Blast?
To be mean to you,
30,
Mark. I'm telling you that this game is not fun.
53. That's the level I am in Toon Blast.
Okay. Did Polarium or whoever reach out to you and give you money?
No.
Okay, I don't know what the problem here is.
The problem is that I the game appealed to me is because I'm not I'm not taking this stick up my butt approach to these type of games.
But you do when you review movies. I don't know what's keeping you from doing it now.
Hey, check out the Movie Draft House. Available
Right now,
on all
available
of your
wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay,
You should
this
definitely check
has
it out.
currency bloat in it to the max.
Paywall.
Paywall.
There's energy. There's gold or silver coins. There's I don't know. There's so much currency in this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so you get... Okay, here's what annoys me, is you get these gems that you use to summon your heroes. And then to use that gem, though, you have to spend some money. Not real money.
No, silver.
But in-game gold that you've earned. So, silver. So
And then that silver
if
also
I get the thing,
is used to upgrade everything.
why do I
too.
have to spend the silver? Right. And so after a while, you run out of that stuff. And that's where I think this game would actually benefit from an idle mechanic. So, of like AFK Arena, I think is the most popular of that genre, where all the leveling systems are very similar.
If I'm not mistaken,
with
Jeff, there
leveling
was
your
a
equipment
mine
and all that
you can unlock whenever your specific self gets to a specific level. And I think that mine actually mines more of that silver coin as an idle mechanic, but I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure that was in there. I never hit that level.
I think you have to hit that level, right? But I think it could help the game out to have that a bit, so that you feel like you're progressing even when you're not playing. But the game, in order to progress, even just a bit, you have to spend a pretty good chunk of change. This isn't a game, and as Mark said, you can choose not to pay. But if you do choose to pay to progress, you have to pay a lot to make any sort of significant progress.
Well, that's why they made $303 million, right?
Game.
Well, and they paid advertising to get a lot of people in the game. Everyone's heard of this. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, so the problem I had with this paywall aspect is that when you go to level up your armor or your weapons or whatever, you pay a certain amount of your silver, and there is a percentage of success for choosing to attempt to upgrade. And as your weapon gets higher in level, the percentage goes down that you will be successful in an attempt. And so I found that to be... Get ready to hit the mute button. Bull.
Well, that's number 2 I'm going to have to beep out.
What did he say before?
He said the S word earlier, too.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
Oh, don't worry, I caught it.
But I mean, it's to me, that's ridiculous, is because you're already spending so much time in game grinding. I feel like it's disingenuous from the game to essentially take your silver and apply a algorithm to it, and
algorithm
exactly. The Movie Draft House, you can find it on any of your platforms.
Did he say that in there too?
But I feel like it's the game is then taking itself too far, is because I mean, you're already dedicating so much time to attempting to upgrade these characters and these weapons and armor, and then the game kind of just chooses, oh, hey, that's not enough of your in-game currency, give me more. And that to me was a big turn off. It's because I was like, come on, I gotta
push that even further,
I gotta spend
Mark.
all of my money to
push that even further, Mark, there was a mechanic where, so you could click the button and it'll attempt that upgrade. Well, there was also like a little thing off to the side of the button where if you click that, you can pick, go to +4 or +8, and it'll automatically continually try to upgrade it until it has success. So therefore, if it has no success, it keeps doing it over and over again and spending your silver over and over again until it's successful.
Yeah, I mean, that's garbage. That's a garbage mechanic. And that was one of the big turnoffs for me behind the grind of this game is because every match you play, you get silver. No matter if you win or lose, you still get silver. And a lot of these campaign levels, as you progress, they take a while. I mean, you gotta grind, and that's these games. But then you get enough silver to upgrade your weapons, and then you can't upgrade them is because the algorithm told you can't. And it's like, what the, why am I doing all this to attempt to make some headway? And that's where this game dives into the pay to win aspect, because you can absolutely buy enough silver to 100% upgrade all of your weapons and armor, and you don't have to worry about it. And that's, to me, that was the big turnoff.
Replayability.
All right, so this is endlessly replayable because apparently it doesn't end, according to Jeff.
I don't think they're... And if you could get to the end, they'd add more levels.
Yes, exactly.
I just...
Well, I mean, if you're making hundreds of millions of dollars, I mean, why would you end?
Oh, no, absolutely. I get why they designed it that way. All right. Overview. Shortest section of all time for replayability. At the end of that.
Hold on. Well, wait a minute. So the game, I mean, you've got tons of champions that you can try to unlock.
Yeah.
Pay to unlock, whatever. You have tons of them. You have tons of armor sets and different weapons that you can attempt to upgrade. You have
raids that you can do to get those weapons and armors. There's like boss battles you can do to get those armors and weapons. There's multiplayer, well, not really but PvP, where you can go against enemy teams. And yeah, there's a lot to do here. Again, is it going to hook you?
I mean, essentially, I think for novice individuals playing these games, I think it would, up to a certain point, until they discover that the only way to progress is either to spend money or grind. And either, much like all these other games we talked about, you're on one side or the other. Either you don't care about the game, so you're not going to spend money, or you actually care about the investment you made and you spend money, and then is it still enough? And that's the thing, is that, are you spending enough money to progress to where you're okay with it? And I think that's the big question with this game, is that yes, it is attempting to get you to spend money. 100%, it is not hiding that at all. But are you spending enough?
Judgment.
At the end of each episode, we vote on whether the game deserves our seal or not and requires a 2/3 vote to be approved or denied. Mark, how about you? What do you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it my seals, because for the 2 weeks that we've played this, I haven't hit the point to where I'm at a dead end of whether I want to continue to grind or spend money. There's still things for me to do. So I'm going to give it my seal just based off of how in-depth the game is. And I know you guys don't like that, but for me, the in-depth gameplay, quote-unquote, aspect to it continues to allow me to come back and try to do something different in game. And so until I've hit that point, it'll live on my phone. So yeah.
This game is super predatory. There's
Like
super...
It's got lasers.
It's super...
It can cloak. It hides in the woods.
No, this is not Predator.
Does it drive a van?
Yes, it drives a van. It has candy. And dark tinted windows.
You went darker than I went.
Anyway, so yeah, this is super predatory. It's very intrusive, just as much so as their advertising is. Because while you're in game, you've got massive pop-ups, one after the other, asking you to buy this pack or this pack with this amount of gold and this one and this one. It's just too much. And this game did not hook me at all. There's there's a couple other games that are very similar to this that I've enjoyed playing way more than this, and this one was not one of them. This is not going to get my seal. How about you, Jeff?
Well, apparently I have a stick up my butt because I didn't enjoy a game. And apparently it's because I'm too good for games like this. Right, Mark?
That is correct.
Okay. That being said, this game does not get my seal. This thing is nasty.
Boo.
Okay. Mark, go play Toon Blast. That is a game Mark likes.
I'm still
That
playing
isn't-
Toon Blast. You
that
told me to go play
doesn't
Toon
suck
Blast.
like this.
I'm playing it as we speak.
Okay. Way to commit to the pod.
That's probably why.
Check out Draft Movie House, the movie Draft House,
come
wherever
on.
you get your
Socials,
podcasts. Oh, yeah. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at the movie Draft.
Next game we were going to be playing is going to be Splitgate.
Great. Okay. Now, again, Twitter and Instagram at Budget Arcade, Facebook.com/Budget Arcade. If you want to check us out on TikTok, where all the cool people are, it's TikTok.com/Budget Arcade Podcast, as well as Budget Arcade Podcast on Twitch.tv.
If you want to help support the show, you can do so at our Patreon, patreon.com/Budget Arcade. If you could leave a kind review on either Apple Podcasts or Podchaser, that would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to tell a friend about the show. Our music is provided by Stimage, and you can download his music at metroidmetal.com. And game on.
This is Mission Control. The tallest, fastest, and longest steel coaster at Kings Island needs you. Must be able to handle a 300-foot drop and speeds up to 91 miles per hour while dodging meteors. No training required. Are you up for the challenge?
Introducing Orion at Kings Island, one of only 7 gigacoasters in the world.
Right now, everyone pays kids' price. Kings Island tickets just $45 online.
Imagineville Podcast Network.